to you, sir.
How are you doing today?
Greetings and salutations. I am doing terrific.
Yeah, you're the best looking Hank I've seen in a while.
I'll tell you what, if Hank looks like me, he better go get him another face.
Well, as everybody can see, I'm not Clyde, and he's not Hank.
And I'm not
Norm.
Hank. Yeah.
And Norm came in today to help us out because, well, I'll say Clyde's just a little under the weather. We'll leave it at that. What do you think? Just
I think he's a little bit more under the weather than what you're letting on.
okay. Well, Clyde, if you're watching and you're awake, call us later, but not right now because I'm still trying to figure things out.
Yeah, Clyde, hoping you get better.
Yeah, we do.
Especially Hank. He's hoping you'll get better so that you can be in that screen and Hank will be back here.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're doing good over there. While I was away, you guys did a great job. One of the reasons that you're here is because I finally got to do the Scottish Games. We did one of them, and then I was going to do actually part 2 and part 3.
Yeah.
And I got hung up, and I didn't get a chance to do it. So at that point,
yeah, the official title is the Blairsville Scottish Festival and Highland Games.
See, I can't spell that much, so
That's a long word.
yeah,
But
yeah, it is.
the Highland Games is good enough.
I see that we're going out, so that's good. What do you say? I show you the very first part of the Highland Games, and then we can talk about them. And there's a guy in there that looks a lot like you.
Poor thing.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
But let's see how lucky we get. Or let's see if I do. Clyde, let me know how this works now. Here we go.
Norm, you want to introduce your guest?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is my good friend Travis Adams.
I'm the chaplain.
He's the chaplain, and when you hear him play, if you close your eyes, you think you're either in Appalachia, America in the 1700s, or you think you're back in Scotland in the 1600s.
Yeah.
That's the way he does. And so he has been a part of this ever since
From the beginning.
And I've covered this from the beginning in some way.
Yep.
So the last 10 years in the magazine, and that's why I'm here today.
Yep.
So I'll be taking this picture and printing it this fall.
And I think the beans was part of it, but
Rory Howe, H-O-W-E. I'm with the committee here. This is the 17th year we've done the games. We got rained out about 3 years ago. COVID got us 2 years ago, and COVID got us last year. So obviously we're really excited about coming back this year. We're very fortunate to have all of the bands that were with us, that have played with us before. We're also fortunate enough to get Atlanta Pipe Band to come up and perform with us. Very excited. Looks like a great crowd. We've got athletics, both men's and women's athletics. We've got women's world champion athletes, and they're breaking all kinds of records as far as all the events with the men's athletics and so forth. So they're really excited about it, and everybody we've talked to so far has said it's been a great day. They love it, and they want to come. They're looking forward to next year. That's second full weekend in June.
In Meeks Park.
At Meeks Park, yes, and we do it. That's typically it's every second full weekend in the month of June. We've done it, as I said, for 17 years, and if we hadn't had problems, it would have been our 20th year this year. So we're excited about that. Happy we are to see everyone here, and we're going to have a wonderful day. And again, many, many thanks for being with us. Several things I would like to point out. First, the 78 Fraser Highlanders of Atlanta will be carrying the colors. The bands coming on the field will be the Alhambra Pipes and Drums from Chattanooga, the John Wall McIntosh Pipes and Drums from Atlanta, the Appalachian St. Andrews Pipes and Drums from Blairsville, and the first time here, and we welcome them, the Atlanta Pipe Band. Host band of the games will be Athol Hounder's Pipes and Drums from Stone Mountain. The mass bands are under the direction of Drum Major on parade, Ben Linton. Drum Major, the field is yours.
Sir! Well, that's part one.
I tell you what, you did a phenomenal job capturing the spirit and everything of that festival. You showed it very well.
Well,
Very well done.
I'll tell you what I feel bad about is I didn't get any of the games. So
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll bring some photographs that I took of the games,
Okay.
and we'll show them.
all right, because
Kind of like little cards.
yeah, I was there for the morning session,
Right.
and I had to come back and get my wife and then Clyde, and so we missed the games. They did those in between,
Yes.
and then the band comes out. Now, I got to tell you, first of all, that place was packed,
Yes, it was.
and everybody was so friendly. They had some great bands. Well, I say bands, Scottish minstrels, shall we say? And I had a couple people because we put them on earlier, and somebody told me that's kind of unusual music when they start. Yeah, when they start their war chants and stuff like that. But you've been doing that for a long time, haven't you?
I was there when they first organized it. I gave them a lot of publicity. I've covered them either in newspaper or magazine every year since they have been there. And like I mentioned to you, the one unique thing about Meeks Park is that all of the tents are under some kind of shade.
Yeah.
The other events, they're baking out in the sun in an open field.
Well,
And so that's good for the, lack of a better word, the spectators too. Because the spectators, they can go to a food tent that's in the shade. They can visit all of the clans that's in the shade. And Meeks Park's a great place to do it, and you did a wonderful job capturing all of that.
well, I got to tell you, I was very impressed with Meeks Park. I was very impressed with everybody that was there. At the very end of part two, you're going to see a list of names. I don't know how many there are. Supposedly the people that were Scottish people that were there, or they had something to do with the festival.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting, especially you had like, I'm going to say 4 or 5 different bands in there, so you can tell they're different by their, I guess you call it, I don't want to call it their skirts because I'll probably get shot.
Kilts.
Kilts,
Yes.
okay. It's for their kilts. And they marched in unison, they played everything. It's amazing how they can put all of those people together and still look that great.
And look good. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they call it the masked bands. So that's all the bands that come together.
Yeah.
And there was one guy, his name escapes me. He was the legendary band leader, but he's passed on, and so they got a new one. And he did a great job too.
Let me tell you, when they were getting ready to march, I was with you under a tent, so I was in a little bit of shade.
Yes,
It was hot.
it was very hot.
Yep, it was hot.
And like I said, being at Meeks Park, you get a break from the
Well,
excessive heat because of the shade.
well, everybody, you can see, on the one side, we were looking out, and on the other side of the band, that was all shade. All
It was
the
all shade.
spectators were sitting in the shade.
And that's what they're, yeah, you're right.
But they had to march the field.
They did.
So
they were out in the
started
sunshine.
out, marched the field, and then after that came the clans.
Yes.
So they were all lined up. And it was kind of neat because you could see little kids and older people and just everybody just proud as could be showing off their clan.
Yes.
So, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to a commercial and then we're going to go to the part 2. How's that?
That'll work.
All right, see how lucky I get.
Commercial time.
Commercial time. Let's see. We got that there. Let's see if I do this right.
Welcome to Nomad Market in Morganton, Georgia. This little market is veteran owned by Keisha and her husband, and they are the owner operator. If you notice, as you saw that sandwich squisher that makes some awesome sandwiches, we've got deli meats and fruits and veggies, and their soups are delicious. They've got salsas and jams and sauces, local honey, knickknacks and t-shirts, and they sell s'mores kits. Where can you get that? Go to Nomad.
Hi, I'm Kevin Painter with Kevin Painter Insurance. I am your local independent insurance agent here located in Blue Ridge at 95 Progress Circle. As an independent agent, we're able to go out and shop the market for you and find the best company for the best coverages for you. We write all lines of coverage, both personal home, auto, business insurance, workers' comp, life, health, disability, Medicare supplements. We are different from our competitors. Where everyone else is focusing trying to get you the lowest price, we take a consumer approach and want to educate you on your coverages and let you pick and choose what you think your insurance needs are. So come by and visit us again here at 95 Progress Circle here in Blue Ridge, your local hometown independent insurance agent.
Too much flour, it'll cover up the crust, it'll ruin the flavor. It's looking pretty good on the bottom. Give it another try, move it over here.
You want some great New York pizza? Cuccinelli's Pizzeria, Blue Ridge, Georgia. You gotta give it a try. The Curiosity Bookstore, Murphy, North Carolina. I'll tell you what, it's one of those gems that's hidden. You really need to go get a chance, stop in Curiosity Bookstore, Murphy, North Carolina. Curiosity Bookstore is not only a bookstore, but it's a place to find local artist artwork. Stop in, see Timmy and Vince, and tell them Hank and Clyde. There we go.
And then we're back.
Yes. Yes.
That made me hungry.
I tell you. I wish you hadn't said that. But the funny thing is, I got two monitors here.
Okay.
One is the show that's going out, and it's on a delay. Okay, so
okay.
And then the one that is the actual one, so I got to keep looking back and forth and not try to get confused like I always do.
Okay.
But we were talking during the commercial, and you were telling me a couple things that are going to be going on. Is it September and October?
It's in October. The first full weekend in October in the little town of Suches is the Indian Summer Festival. And it's held on the campus of Woody Gap School, and they have a remarkable festival down there. It's just, you'd be really surprised at what all they have.
Explain to me Woody Gap School.
Woody Gap School is the smallest public school in the state of Georgia.
Really?
But it's in such a remote place that it would be impossible for them to bus the students from there to the Blairsville campus on certain days because of the roads. You just can't get there. So it is a public school. They got a faculty, maybe a dozen people. It is a very unique, historic place, and then they've added some modern things to it.
Is it not that off? Is that 60?
It is on 60 above the Loniga.
Okay.
And so if you were going to get there from here, you would go to Blairsville. You would take 129 south to Vogel State Park.
Okay.
Take a right, go out about 10, 12 miles, and it is a winding road. So you're going to take your time.
Okay, you're just before Vogel Park. You taking me over Blood Mountain?
No, you are taking a right at Vogel. So if you pass Vogel on 129, you missed it.
Right, but there's a road before then. Isn't that road called Blood Mountain, or am I wrong?
Okay, 129 goes straight on to Blood Mountain.
Okay.
So if you go from Blairsville straight south, you go to Blood Mountain. Part of the way down is Vogel State Park. You take a right on 180.
Okay, and that, you're right, that is a twisty road.
Yes, and once that dead ends into 60, you take a right, and it's, just a few yards up on the left.
How far is it from the two wheels of Suches?
Yeah, Mom.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I get the two wheels of such, so
Okay.
I'll find the place.
Yeah, yeah.
The way I would go, of course, see,
Yeah.
I would go Loving Road to 60.
Yes, you would.
And then
From here.
and just stay on that road. Just stay on 60.
from Morganton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I joked with Clyde. I told him that you and him is one good earthquake away from y'all being residents of Union County.
Okay. Well, I will tell you that I was pretty close to being a resident.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I had seen that place first.
Yeah.
Because I gotta say, Union County is very friendly.
Oh, yes.
I will say this, and I hope it hasn't changed any, but they care about their residents.
Yes.
And it isn't as much a tourist area as Blue Ridge is.
That is true. It is
So-
a pass-through area. I won't mention who it was, but a good friend of mine one time said that Union County is 2 good bus loads full of people from being a perfect paradise.
I like that. I like that. Well, we're going to go into the second half of this
Scottish
Scottish Games.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I want you to tell me, watch closely the different clans, because I'm sure you know some of the people that are walking in those clans. And if you do, tell me, a little history once we get back on of whoever you see. And if you don't, and just tell me.
I can tell you some generic stuff.
Okay.
But as
Yeah.
far as specifics,
Yeah, I don't need specifics, but he works over at the food line or whatever.
yeah, the one thing when you're watching this and you're looking at the different clans and their tents,
Yeah.
they will have a list of all of the people that could be part of their clan. I've never found my name, not on any of those lists. So apparently my ancestors weren't Scottish.
Ah, well. We'll let you slide on that. How's that?
Okay.
All right, well, let's see what we got here. I think we got everything set up.
Okay.
I'm going to throw it to it, and then I'm going to pray that I did it right.
Okay.
So, Clyde, this is for you, Clyde, if you're watching.
Part 2.
Part 2.
From Major, the field is yours.
Sir!
Clan Gregor, who is the honored clan for this year. Clan Gregor. Clan Armstrong. Clan Armstrong. Nice representation. Clan Bailey. Spelled with 2 E's, Clan Bailey. Clan Bell. Welcome, folks. Clan Campbell. Welcome, welcome. Clan Donald. Great clan. Very familiar. Clan Elliott. Clan Elliott. Ferguson, thank you. Clan Forbes. Clan Forest. Clan Grant. Clan Hay. Hey. Clan Henderson. Oh, Clan Gun, sorry. Clan Gun. Welcome, folks. Clan Kennedy. Thank you. Welcome. Clan Lamont. Thank you. Welcome. McCallum. Nice Irish whiskey. McPhee. And McKay. Welcome, Jim McPhee. McIntosh, welcome, folks. Welcome. Clan McLaren, welcome. Looks like Loud McLeod. Clan McLeod. McPherson, welcome, folks. Clan Montgomery. Muir. Murray, Clan Murray, welcome, folks. Skeen, Clan Skeen. Clan Stewart. Stewart. Clan Wallace, yes indeed. I don't see your face painted, but it should be Clan Wallace. Tony, appreciate you folks. Welcome, man.
And there we are.
Yeah.
Watching that segment reminded me of a cute little question. Do you know what a Scottish person's favorite color is?
Green?
No, plaid.
Because all the kilts are plaid.
All the kilts are plaid, yes.
I don't know if you know this answer, but plaids, there's all different colors of plaid. Is the color that they come out with, is that the color of their clan?
Yes. That's how you identify that clan.
Okay.
And I'm just guessing this thing is that used to you would know the American Indians by the way they dressed.
Uh-huh.
So Scottish people would know the different clans by what they wore.
Uh-huh.
And so if you belonged to that clan, everybody had that material.
Got it.
Somewhere in North Carolina, there's a tartan. They call them tartans.
Yeah.
There's a tartan museum in North Carolina not far from here.
Well, I got to go get some different stuff, and I need to get some museums. I'm going to try to get to Copper Hill and get their museum that they have at Copper Hill there.
Yes.
It's a mine.
Yes.
Is there something that Blairsville has as a museum?
They have one museum on the square.
Okay.
And it's, I call it kind of a laid-back museum. They got a couple of things in there that's kind of questionable that I won't mention on here. But all of the old courthouses collect stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll just use the word loosely, stuff. And then they just set it around. And then they hit museum.
Okay. All right.
So everybody has to go in there and decide for themselves. You know.
Who would be the historian for Blairsville?
We've got several. Most of them have died away.
Okay.
Martine Jokolo was a huge historian. Back in the 2000s, I actually facilitated 2 history books of Union County through Arcadia Press. And so I was able to select a committee to be on for both of those books.
Yeah.
And one guy named Dale, well, I mean, we would take pictures from the 1940s that would have 40 students, see, in front of the school. He'd know them. That's where we got the name. But Martine Jokley, David Freely, he was a very good friend of mine, was there. In some ways, I would be considered an historian with all of the history that I've recorded in various forms. But Mickey Cummings would be a good source.
He was with, set one of them up for us.
Yeah, he was with the Georgia University of Georgia Experiment Station. That's how he got here, and then he has stayed since, and he's been a real asset to the community. And so, yeah, I could hook you up with some people that would be considered historians.
It's funny you say, he could see 40 people know.
Yeah.
My buddy keeps sending me pictures of like the old baseball team, and they go, I might know 3, and I played ball with them for 4 years
exactly.
in high school. So I was like, okay. And I hate to say this, but I'm getting to the point where I can't separate who I know from high school and who I know from college.
That's it.
I mean, they're going
well, now, that's not hard for me, because the only college I ever went to was football games in the stadium, but I never had a class. So.
Talking about football.
Yes.
What did you think about the Georgia game?
Well, I tell you, Georgia, Alabama, some of those others, they will schedule a team that they know they can trust.
Yeah, but that team was number 7.
11.
All right, I'm sorry, 11. Right.
But they were overrated.
Well,
yeah.
They're going to drop down now.
And I could tell you some horror stories about polls. I've never participated in a sports poll because of various reasons. But Georgia, we knew that they were going to be good. I mean, they're a national champion, and they come back. And they may have a better defense than they had last year. And last year they had 7 guys go to the NFL in the first round. And then I absolutely love their quarterback. He always had his doubters. I never doubted him for a minute.
It's all heart.
It's all heart.
Yep.
And it's kind of, they mentioned it several times, but it was kind of funny that here is a national champion quarterback, and this was his first start to a season.
Yeah.
But he went out there, he proved himself, he earned that job. They wouldn't just give it to him. And he had to work to keep that job. And he did a good job.
Yeah, they were talking.
But as the season goes on, then we'll see what's there. But they do have the potential to do that again.
Well, I work at Altacola Farms as a ranger on the golf course.
Okay.
The restaurant, they had 4 games on the wall, and they were serving duck burgers.
Okay, that's funny.
So, anyhow, they went over well. And the crowd was having a good time.
Can I say that I heard that those duck burgers weren't all they were quacked up to be?
You can. I got it.
Thank you very much.
Quacked up to be.
Quacked up to be.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. All right. Well, you were telling me about a couple other things that are...
Yeah, the festival. So the Woody Gap Festival is the first full weekend in October. The second and third weekend is the granddaddy of all festivals in Union County. It's the Sorghum Festival. Sorghum is kind of like a molasses syrup. It's made out of sugar cane. For years they were downtown in an old Ford and just wasn't working out. Now they're at Meeks Park, spread out. They got games out there. They got vendors out there. They constantly are making syrup the old-fashioned way, even using wood for the fire to boil the syrup.
Wow.
And then even yours truly has the opportunity to set up out there in my frontiersman outfit. We do hawk throw, but the thing is, I throw my hawk, which costs anywhere from $70 to $100. and they throw $12 hand axes from the hardware store. But I show them how to do it, and then we demonstrate the rifle, and then I tell some of my tall tales.
Well, you need to make sure I'm there.
And you need to make sure to be there.
What? Sorghum? Is it?
Sorghum.
Sorghum.
It is kind of like a syrup.
Well, where do they get it from?
Sugar cane. So they grow the cane.
Yeah.
And here in Union County, they grow the cane locally, and then they will go cut it, and they'll stack it, and then they have what is called a grinder.
Okay.
So it's kind of like two wheels going together. They push the cane through there, which squeezes out this horrible looking but sweet smelling green sludge.
All right.
And the sludge goes down to a certain place, and then it drains into another area, and then part of that goes into what is called a cooker. Cooker's longer than your room here.
All right.
And so it starts on this end cooking, and then the slime boils to the top, and they'll actually skim it off. But by the time it gets down there, it is golden. And it comes out in little drips. It goes through another cloth, and it goes into the jars. And then they put it on there, and then they sell it.
What's it taste like?
It is a super sweet, think molasses.
Okay.
Okay? It's in that ballpark.
See if you can get me to get some video of that.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely give you
Because I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
And-
not like that other stuff that the Scottish people eat. Remember talking about that?
It's not haggis.
Okay.
No.
Clyde tried to get some of that, and I just said, Clyde, you better check to see what that is.
If you look up the definition of haggis, it will not be on your dinner plate.
No. But I will go for that. I'll try it.
Sorghum, and it's an acquired taste.
Okay.
Okay? So a lot of people love it, but not everybody loves it. But
Well, see, Clyde doesn't like sweets.
Okay.
So I'm going to make him be the tester.
Yeah. It is traditionally eaten with biscuits.
Yeah.
But if you're not a biscuit eater, you can use like a little roll or something too. And some people can take it and,
I never put my glasses on. So
Yeah.
people said, do you know a Barb Bannister? Oops, get back there. And a Linda Marie Klutz, I guess is how they say it. And hey, Allison Thompson's doing this. She's from Orlando when we used to do the show in, well, we still do, when I used to be there.
oh, you know what people watching?
These are, a couple
very
of people
good.
who were watching. So
Welcome
hello.
to the show.
So anyhow, if you're not from the area, you need to get up here for these two festivals, at least for the last one. Like he said, it's the biggest one around.
And if the weather cooperates and behaves like it should, then the Sorghum Festival, you also get the changing of the leaves.
And
So sometimes it's all green, sometimes it's already half dead, but most times it's got a great blend of different colors.
There's a lot of people that rent cabins around here, and the first thing they tell you is, if you want to get a cabin or a place to stay, you better do it a year before.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Yeah.
My wife is already driving around going, oh, look, some of the leaves are changing, some of the leaves are changing.
And the other thing is that if you're from, like, Florida, another state, Blairsville is the ideal place to be because you're only 2 hours from Atlanta.
Yeah.
If you want to catch a ball game or something. It's only 2.5 hours from Asheville, which has the Biltmore House and some great historic places. It is only 2 hours from Chattanooga. And then the way over at Blue Ridge, you got a train that you can take and go to Copper Hill. You can stand in 2 states at one time. One little city, 2 days.
Somebody told me there's a train now coming in from Tennessee. Did you hear about that?
I have not heard about that.
I was at one of the shops, I'm going to say probably about 2 months ago, and I can't tell you where she said it was coming in, but she said, oh, we're getting a second train that's coming in from Tennessee.
I don't know any place flat enough to run a train.
Well, but I'm going to have to go check with her. I'll have to call her up and find out.
Now, up in Cherokee, Bryson City, I think they got
that's a nice train, yeah.
And I'm going to try to go on that one this year.
My next door neighbor went on it this weekend.
Yeah.
She says there were 700 people on it.
Okay.
700
That's a
people.
lot of people.
Wow.
I don't think you can get 700 on that entire track.
Well,
But anyway,
Yeah.
I guess if you pack them in like sardines, you get. I went on the initial train ride.
yeah,
Took pictures, rolls of film,
yeah.
3 rolls of film. Couldn't find them.
Oh,
I don't know if somebody took them, if I lost them. I don't typically lose stuff like that.
Yeah.
So my thinking is that somebody took them not knowing what they had.
yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
I'm glad we don't do film anymore.
No.
I'm glad we're in the digital age.
I will tell you that one of my jobs when I was in the business was a place called Photomat, 24-hour photo service.
Yes.
And our biggest problem was getting our vendors to turn the film around. Now, if you had Kodachrome or something else, there was always a delay, and they always lose something.
Yeah.
And I was constantly, what kind of business do you run?
Exactly.
I mean, it's the vendor over here.
It's the vendor.
So,
Yeah.
But anyhow, yeah, I remember very well film in Fuji and Kodak.
Yep.
Yeah, so.
I remember the old days when newspaper was still done in black and white,
Yeah,
and we would get the film in bulk.
yeah,
And you would be in a dark room, and you had to do it by field to roll each individual thing.
and then dunk them, yeah.
And then, yeah, so good old days.
I had to do that too. I
Yeah.
learned all of that stuff. All right, well, let's see. We've covered the Scottish games. We're going to go to something. Now, this group is, they do a lot of things in Blairsville.
Yes,
The Blairsville Cruisers.
yes.
And I don't know. Last time I did an interview, I did one with a guy that I thought he was pulling my leg when he said his name was Charlie Brown.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And he said, "Yeah, I'm Charlie Brown." I think at the time he was the vice president, but I'm not sure. But anyhow, they bring in some hellacious cars and numbers.
Yes,
So
and immaculate.
yes,
Yeah. I saw a sign one time that says, if you approach my car, be nude. Because buttons and
Butt scratch,
zippers
yeah.
will scratch my car.
yes, yes, yes. I know when I used to, even with my motorcycle,
Yeah.
I'd always put a towel down just so you didn't scratch it. When I was a kid, I worked in a gas station. And back when I was a kid, you pumped the gas.
That's it.
You opened up the hood and checked the oil in the water.
Yes.
You know, and then if you were working on a car, you would put this big pad over the fender, and then you could work on the car.
Absolutely. I remember
Now they
that.
just plug them in and go, well, let's see what the computer says.
Exactly.
Yeah, so, I don't know.
Yeah.
But what do you say? We'll go to and I hope I got this right. Where's my, yeah, there we go. We're going to go to the Blairsville cars,
The Cruisers.
the Cruisers. Let's see what they
Blairsville
got.
Cruisers, okay?
Here we go.
Chris, tell me a little bit about your car.
Well, it's a 67 Mustang Fastback. Bought it as a carcass 9 years ago. And what I mean by carcass is just a shell. I mean, it was not much there. The guy had bought some parts for it, but I pretty much put it all together. And it's got a late model 5.0 roller motor with different cylinder heads, camshaft, about 350 horse, and 5-speed T5 transmission. It's got a Ford Explorer 8.8 rear end in it with disc brakes. It's got a Wellwood brake system on it, master cylinder and the front brakes. It's got a Rod & Custom Motorsports front suspension setup. I took the shock towers out, put the Rod & Custom Motorsports suspension system with adjustable coilovers. So it's a resto mod, and I always liked the Shelby look, the white with blue stripes. So that's why I made it what it is.
Beautiful car.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, good deal. Thanks.
very good. I tell you, the Cruisers have a great history of drawing a lot of people.
Well, they had something, I'm going to say it was a year ago, because I had to go do an auction in Young Harris.
Okay.
And I kept seeing all these cars and all these cars. And I'm going, wow, this auction's going to be huge. Well, come to find out, that was the week that they had the car show at Meeks Park. They had 700 cars there.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I had known that, I'd hustle back to the park and got some of those cars.
Yeah.
So, but hey, it is what it is.
And yeah, they've had a lot of good people that have been involved with them over the years.
Good. Well, I know that I'm going to try to get there on the third Saturday. For everybody, the first Saturday night, they go to the farmer's market, and that's the first Saturday. Mm-hmm. And then the third Saturday, they go to the square at Blairsville, and it goes from April to October, and it runs from 4 to dusk.
Yes.
So, and if you want to get any information, you can go up on their website, and you can learn a little more about them. I just noticed that Paul Hastings is watching. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hey, how are you doing, Paul?
Paul just bought a new Harley and had it all painted up. And
I was going to say that when the Cruisers are on the square, it's the only time that you can illegally park and not get a ticket.
Oh, really? Okay.
They kind of turn a blind, oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, they do it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that square, and it's neat because, you go all around the square and everything's there. And what I like is, I don't know who painted that mural on the building that says, "Welcome to
Blairsville." Yeah.
That is neat.
It is.
It is very neat.
And the thing I have always had a question about, why do they call that circle
a square?
A square.
I know.
It's never been a square.
I know.
But anyway, I guess it used to be a square before they had the wall.
Really?
People just drove around it, and then they built a wall to protect the lawn, maybe. I'm just guessing, but
You're right. It is a circle.
It is a circle.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love going there.
Yeah.
We usually go, I would say, maybe twice a month.
Yeah.
To Lucky's on Monday. Mm-hmm. And the reason we go there is two reasons. They have great margaritas.
Okay.
And they have BOGO, where you get, if you buy one taco, you get the second one free.
Well, now that's what I would do.
Yes.
I'll go with you and double up on the tacos and drink me a Coca-Cola and
Well,
you can have a margarita.
My wife and Clyde's wife are the margarita ones.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So,
but I like, okay.
Yeah, Clyde will have a Dr. Pepper and I'll have a Coke.
That'll work.
Yeah. But the food's good over there. So.
But I tell you, the Blairsville Square, when I first moved here, after 6 o'clock, it was a ghost town. But and I don't want to try to name all the people, but over a period of time, it has evolved into a decent place to be, with some good places to eat, good variety.
Grits and Greens is there.
Yes.
And then there's the breakfast place. Can't think of the name of it. You go by. You
ain't talking about hole in the wall, right?
No. The hole in the wall's in the square. This is outside of the square. You go by the golf course down that road. They have great coffee. I can't think of it.
Okay, they got a huddle house down there.
No, this is a family-owned restaurant.
Okay.
There's two of them. There's one right there. I can't think of the name of it, but just as you go over the overpass, there's that one. Cooks.
Yes.
And then
I love that place.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, they advertise in the magazine, so I'll leave
Yeah.
But I would go there and get me a grilled cheese and a sweet tea.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. Grilled cheese and a Coke.
Really?
Best grilled cheese in town.
I'll remember that.
And then Papa's Pizza. They got, to me, the best sweet tea. So you go in there and get a little 7-inch pizza, sweet tea, just a few bucks. You fill up, get a refill on the tea, and you're good to go.
Well, what's down the road from Cook's? It's on the same side of the road, probably about a mile and a half.
Are you talking about Sawmill?
What?
Yes, Sawmill. Yes, they do a remarkable job. Yes.
Every time I go there, I have to wait.
Yes.
So I tell my wife, let's get up early.
You know, they got some restaurants now that you have to wait. And it reminds me of the old baseball player Yogi Berra.
Yeah.
And somebody, they said they were going to go to town to cover a game and we're going to go eat somewhere. And Yogi says, no, I'm not going. So that place is always so crowded, nobody goes there anymore.
Well, it's funny you say that because I worked for the Houston Astros for 22 years during spring training.
Oh, wow.
And Yogi
My dream
used to come in and sit in the clubhouse downstairs, and he would still be throwing out those lines.
Yes.
He would just
Okay.
sit there and be reading the paper, and when you first walk in, you don't know who's behind the paper, and all of a sudden you hear him say something. You go, Yogi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who'd you think would be behind the paper? You know, one of those.
Well, if you work for the Astros, I need to get your autograph on my collection of baseballs that has all kind of.
I'll have to give you some. I got memorabilia in the other room, and I've got every year they would sign the programs. All the players would sign them.
Yeah.
And I almost got fired one year.
Okay.
I used to ride my motorcycle to work. Okay, and Barry Waters was the traveling secretary for the Astros for many, many years.
Okay.
And Barry and I became good friends.
Mm-hmm.
So one day Barry comes up to me and he says, can I borrow the keys to your bike, or can I ride your bike? I said, yeah, sure, Barry. So I give him the keys to my bike. Now I'm up in the office, and all of a sudden I hear somebody holler out the window, who the gave Biggio a motorcycle? He's riding my motorcycle through the parking lot, hauling butt.
Oh, wow.
And in his contract, he can't ride one.
Oh, okay.
So now they're all upset because he's riding a motorcycle. I turned around like a little sheepdog and walked right out of the office.
Yeah.
It was like, okay. And so I saw Barry and I said, Barry, I didn't know you wanted a car to ride the bike. He goes, well, yeah, I don't ride. I go, okay.
There was a cartoon I saw one time that reminded me of the Astros. And they're interviewing the Astros manager and saying, you got horrible pitchers, you got horrible hitters, you got horrible, batting average. I mean, your team just absolutely is just a pits. How come you're so optimistic for this weekend? He said, we're playing the Braves.
That was something when they moved him from the National League to the American League.
I think that was a good move.
Oh, it was a good move.
It balanced the two leagues.
Yep.
And somehow, when Houston went to the American League, they became a good team.
Well,
now my question is, did they become a good team, or is all of the other American League teams worse than the Astros?
I will tell you that they got some players in there that I thought were really good players.
Yeah.
What people don't understand about spring training, you could be, let's say, you played for 7 years in the majors.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say, prime example, let's say you played second base. And then along, they decided that they want to move Biggio they moved him from catcher to the outfield, which they weren't happy about, so they moved him to second base.
Okay.
Second baseman's gone. And until they make those final cuts, it's cutthroat out there for those players. I mean, they're just...
I can imagine, yes.
So,
one of my greatest regrets, being a huge baseball fan, is never going to spring training when the Braves was in West Palm Beach. I always wanted to do that, but never did.
Well, when the Braves moved to Disney,
Yeah.
Disney came over to the Kissimmee complex, and they did, they had free reign of the place. We showed them everything, gave them, free tickets for all the games, whatever they wanted. When they had opening day, we wanted to go watch the Braves play. So we call up, and they go, well, yeah, you can come, but you got to buy a ticket. What? Buy a ticket? So I call up Barry Waters, who was the traveling secretary, and I go, Barry, we want to go to the game. He goes, I got a good friend that's their secretary. I'll get you tickets. Just go to the window. Who do we sit behind? Chipper Jones at the time, his wife and his mother.
Oh, wow.
Right behind home plate.
That had to be awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're talking, and all of a sudden, I go, do you know someone on the team? Oh, yeah. That's my husband over there. Yeah, that's my son. Oh, okay.
when I got into doing background roles in movies and TV shows, my first movie was 42. Yes, the Jackie Robinson story. And I had a chance to meet the guy that was the star of the movie. And so 15 days in Chattanooga over 3 weeks' time, and I was the happiest guy. I mean, I was a baseball fan to begin with.
Yeah.
And then they were paying me, and you're working 12 hours a day, so anything over 8, time and a half.
Yeah.
And you may tell you something about Chattanooga.
Go ahead.
If it is 80 degrees outside when they're filming, and you have this huge, gigantic golf umbrella, you can make friends in a heartbeat. They'll come sit right next to you, strike up a conversation. You can make a lot of friends.
Yeah.
But no, that was my first one. I've done about, 50, 60 now? But that was my first one, and I loved it. And
well, talk about that. My daughter is, and I think it's on Apple TV, and I don't get Apple TV, which kind of, doesn't help me. But she's doing 5 days at Memorial, which is the movie about Katrina coming into Atlanta.
okay.
Not Atlanta, into New Orleans.
New Orleans, yes.
And I couldn't believe the set that they made up there. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyhow, she's matter of fact, she just sent me a thing saying that her last episode was episode 5. So
I should have gone down there and been background for her.
yeah, could have been in the hospital. And
Yeah.
we could have died there. What the heck? I'd be a good corpse. So, what the heck?
Oh yeah, that was one thing that we did. They said, wear some old clothes because you're going to throw them away when you're done. And they had this mixture of stuff that, and I forget now what it consisted of, but it looked like mud, but it wasn't mud.
Yeah.
But once you put it on there, it was like paint.
Yeah.
It wasn't coming off. And then they had a different chemical stuff for mud that they would put on your skin.
Ooh.
So you couldn't get this on your skin.
Otherwise, yeah.
And all day long, you're walking around with all this gluns all over you. But,
Well, Jim Hinton's watching.
Hey,
So,
Jim.
hi, Jim. How are you? I'm hoping you're enjoying our conversation. We get carried away sometimes, but that's me. And if you're looking for Clyde, he's either awake or he's not. I haven't seen Clyde. He must not be watching. He must be sleeping, so that's good for him.
well, Clyde, be sure to sign in when you watch this on rerun.
Yeah.
So we'll know during the
That
week
you watch it.
that you watched it.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good thing about this show, and I'm going to plug it this way, is that you can watch it live,
Yeah.
or you can watch it later, and it don't cost you a penny. You don't have to get no app. You don't need no subscriptions.
Yeah.
You just
plug it in and ask.
Just go in and it'll
We're on Facebook, YouTube,
Yeah.
and Vimeo. And the Vimeo is our what I call our main source to go out,
Okay.
because Vimeo will send it out to Facebook and to YouTube through their feed. And the nice thing about Vimeo is if we're doing a concert or a band, sometimes YouTube and Vimeo will silence them because of the copyright.
Okay.
Vimeo, whatever you put up, goes out. So
Okay.
if we do a band, we always tell everybody, if you want to watch it and make sure you see everything, go to Vimeo.
Go video. Okay.
Which brings me to, I think I told you a little earlier that I'm a ranger at Old Tacoma Farms, which is a very nice golf course, very hard, but people love to come in and play it. Well, like everything else, finding people to work is tough. So I talked to Addison and Matt, who run the restaurant and tavern, and we're going to put this little ad up for you. Anybody that's looking for a great place to work, this would be it. So let me hit this, and here you go.
Roll it.
Hey, looking for a good place to work? The new and exciting Old Tacoma Farms is hiring for servers, kitchen staff, and cart staff. Great opportunity for you, also great incentives and advancement within the company. Come join the hottest tavern and restaurant in the area. If interested, please call and set up an interview. 706-900-4009. Ask for Addison or Matt.
And we're back.
You were telling me that you're a golf expert.
Well, not exactly expert, but years ago when I was in a sports writer for a town outside of Atlanta, there was a new golf course that opened up, invited me and some others to come from the paper to come play it, with the understanding I would do an article on them. And they had a fairway that the opening was wider than your house, with a boulder over there and a boulder over here. And when I took my first lick, that ball went straight to that boulder, hit it, and went straight up into the trees.
Oh, geez.
Well, of course, I like to make fun of myself, so I wrote a column about how I made history at the boulders because my shot was so hard that it hit the boulder, went through the trees, and that the rocket that was going over at the time, that one of the astronauts reached out the window and caught it, and he kept it as a souvenir. Yeah, that's about as expert as I got.
Yeah. Well, you're like me. I like to play golf very little.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. I always play in the golf tournament in July, and I've been doing that for about 20 years, and it's all old friends. But I have to play 10 rounds, because if I don't play 10 rounds, if I don't have a handicap, then I can't play.
Right.
And, it's getting to the point now where it's getting tougher and tougher to play.
Let me tell you a true story about handicap. Little golf course west of Atlanta, and I could play it once a week because of my sports writing job, and I could go once a week and play. And I would always say I got a hole-in-one. It was a pond full of water, but I got it in the top. But anyway, I saw the things on the wall for the handicaps, and I asked the assistant pro what that meant. He explained it. I said, I want to figure out my handicap. He started laughing. He said, I've seen you play. My best shot's a foot wedge. If it's behind a tree, I just kick it back in the fairway.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I got a scorecard. He told me how to keep an honest scorecard. And for the first and only time in my life, I went out and played an honest 9 holes of golf. And I got back and I handed him my card. He did just like this. He says, Norrin, your handicap is the fact that you have no idea how to play the game of golf. I've always remembered that. That was a great moment. Great moment.
Great line. Well, just to get back to Old Tacoma Farms, if you're interested, people, give them a call. Ask for Addison and Matt. You can replay this and get their number. And it's 706. Here we go.
The flipping, now that looks like what would
I reached
happen.
to get something, and
that's
it tripped it.
Well, that looked like something that would happen to me if I was on a motorcycle. Okay, starts here, goes down.
Well, anyhow, their number is 706-900-4009. Ask for either Addison or Matt. They're great people to work for, and it's a great place to be. I don't know what time it is. I haven't been keeping track, but it's about time to say goodbye.
It's all right at, if not 8 o'clock.
All right. Well, you got any shout-outs? You should be good at this by now.
The shout-out that I'm going to give is to the people who are at the farmers market in Union County. It is a phenomenal place, so do a shout-out to all of those who grow stuff or make stuff that brings it out there for people to buy at a reasonable price. Farmers market people, good job.
Now they're what, just Saturday or Saturday and Sunday?
Only Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday morning, I think it's like 8 to 1 for the public.
All right,
if you don't get there by 11, you can must go.
Yeah.
So, let's roll at 8 to 10.
I went there one day and it was pouring rain and they were all packing up. And I went, but I will try to get out there. My shout outs, first of all, Clyde, I hope you're feeling better. You do a better job running this than I do, but you know what? We got through it, so that's the good part. I want to say, first of all, suicide prevention is big, especially with our service people. 22 people a day, service people, commit suicide. So we need to work a little bit on that. You know what, I can't remember the number. There's a new number for suicide prevention. It's only 3 numbers, but I don't want to give out the wrong one because I can't remember it. But check up online, suicide prevention, and look up that number. Listen, we'd rather talk to you tomorrow than go to your funeral a couple days from now. So if you're feeling bad,
Good point.
don't be afraid to call us. All the first responders, boy, you guys are out there every day. I want to thank you. And for everybody that's in the service, especially if you're deployed, thank you so much. My granddaughter's boyfriend just got back from deployment. He's been gone for a year. He's in the Navy. He just came back Saturday, so I'm sure everybody's partying. And to everybody else out there, thanks for watching. And do you remember the saying?
The adventure,
All right, I'll
enjoy
lead you.
the ride.
You
or
ready?
something? Yeah.
Join the adventure.
Join the adventure
and enjoy the ride.
Yes.
And guess what? I got to get ready here to do this, and I forgot where I was. Oh, I know where I am. I got to hit this thing here. Yeah. Catch CFTV North every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo. Catch Cycle Fever TV Florida every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Vimeo. So join the adventure and enjoy the ride. Hopefully we'll see you soon.